Hey everyone, Reverend Sarah Grady from St. Paul's United Church in Paris. For those who are used to Tuesday check-ins, you will have noticed that last week I missed a Tuesday check-in, and my apologies. My mom was recovering from surgery and I had gone to Toronto to help her as she came home from the hospital. So we have a few announcements as I begin today before we get into a little bit of a reflection. That is, we are in a new rhythm for the summertime. We are under a new easing back of restrictions, I guess. We're in a new phase here in Ontario, and we are allowed to do outdoor worship services. And so that's what we've decided to do for the month of July through to August 1st, actually. We are going to be holding in-person worship outdoors. And we had our first service this past Sunday, and it was so wonderful, so wonderful to be together, to be able to pass the peace to one another. We didn't shake hands, but just to be able to turn with masks on even and say those words of institution to one another was just so wonderful. So if you would like to join us, we are going to be doing it every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Paris Plains Church site. Bring your own lawn chair or blanket to sit on, and if the weather is not good, if it's raining or a thunderstorm that day, then we are going to be here in the sanctuary at St. Paul's. We are allowed to have a 25% capacity under this new phase, and here at St. Paul's, that's about 125 people. So there's no need to pre-register. There's always going to be somebody at the front of the entrance to the Paris Plains Church site or at the church here if we're here doing contact tracing as people come in. So no need to pre-register. Please just come on out and join us, because it's just lovely to be together again. Another quick announcement that I have is I'm going to be on holidays for the month of August. So starting from August 1st after worship through to the end of August, we will be having online services of worship. Erica and I are going to be doing some pre-recording of those services for you for the month of August, and Karen will be posting those and making them available each of the Sundays throughout that month. So there won't be any in-person worship for the month of August, and there won't be any online worship for the month of July. So we're switching it up a little bit as we switch to a different rhythm for the summer months. And the last little bit of information that I wanted to let you know is we do have office hours at the church here again. Karen is back in the office on Tuesdays and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you need to reach out to Karen for any reason, we do have our yard sale coming up, and details about that have been going out in our e-blast. So if you need to reach out to Karen and get in touch with her, those are the days that she's going to be here at the church office, and you can reach her. This past Sunday, we talked about how we serve one another. The spirit of service is the chapter for this week. And one of the engagement questions is to share a story about a time when you served someone else and about a time when you were served. And this doesn't necessarily mean communion, but communion immediately came to mind for me, and this really cool experience that I got to have one time as a youth group leader. And I was working with a group from my home church, Islington, and we got on a youth group retreat up north. We did them every fall, and they were always so popular. We'd always have 30, 35 kids come on, and it was so awesome. And one of the nights we were there this one year, we decided to do communion. We had a clergy person with us who was able to bless the elements for us. And one of my favorite youth group members was a girl named Selena. And Selena had Down syndrome, and she just got so much joy out of being part of everything that we did with the youth group. And people, all of the other teenagers, everybody just loves Selena because she just exuded this joy for everybody. And when it came time for communion, she said, "I've never taken communion before. How do you do it?" And we talked about it as a group, and we talked about how we serve one another and how we offer the bread to somebody and say bread of life, and then we offer the cup and say in the cup of blessing. And so what we did was paper bag communion, and we had paper bags. We got into little groups of 5 or 6, and everybody got a juice box and some crackers, and the idea was to turn to the person next to you and say the bread of life and the cup of blessing, and then they would take the elements, and after they were done, then they would turn to the person, and so on and so on. And so I got to serve Selena first to show her. She wasn't sure how it was done, so I turned to her and I showed her how it was done. And I have never seen somebody so joyful. She misunderstood and turned, and then she served me instead of the person on the other side of her. But I am so grateful she did that because the joy on her face and the laughter in her voice as she served me communion for the first time in her life that she could remember anyway, it stuck with me. I just love that experience and I love that memory of sharing in that time. So I wonder for you, do you have an experience of serving someone else or someone serving you? And that doesn't have to be communion. That for me was what came to mind, but perhaps you had a surgery of your own and you weren't able to shovel your driveway when it was snowy out, or walk your dog and somebody else was able to come and do that for you, a spouse or a child or a partner or a neighbor, a friend. Maybe you have been the person to do that for somebody else. I mean, I can't think of any better community than a church community for bringing food to people when they have lost a loved one or when they are recovering from surgery or a fall. You know, people that's how they serve one another. So I'd love to hear those stories from you. Please share them in the comment section. Send me an email. I love getting those, or a text message, or give me a call. It's always so lovely to hear the stories of how God is at work in your life and in the work of and at work in the life of the people around you. Wherever you are this week, I hope that you are safe. I hope that you are well, and I really hope I get to see you soon now that it's possible. Talk to you later, friends.